Well, good morning, Center of Hope. It is Friday, September the 4th, I believe, and you've got me for your daily devotional. It's great to be back here. For those of you who didn't notice, I've been away for a couple of weeks. My wife and I took a really epic trip across Canada. We drove as far as we could get just to see how far we could get in the time, and it turns out we made it to Victoria Island. So we got all the way west. And if you've never done the journey before, if you've never taken that Trans-Canada Highway straight across, I got to tell you, it is completely worth it. It is so worth it. The things that you get to see on the Trans-Canada and experience in our country are absolutely fantastic. From the scenery in Northern Ontario to the flatness of Saskatchewan and the prairies, which everyone always talks about, and yes, it is flat, but there's still a lot of beauty there too. To the Badlands in Alberta, to the Rocky Mountains of Alberta and BC, and to the beauty of Victoria Island. There are so many things to see across this country. And in all of those things that I saw, there's one thing that stood out the biggest, pun intended, and the best, and that would be the Rocky Mountains. Wow. It is absolutely unreal. Standing at the foot of these mountains, looking up, driving through the mountains, going around them. At one point we were driving through some clouds because we had been up so high and the clouds were kind of down a little bit low that day, to seeing snow-covered peaks, to really green lush valleys, to a desert in one of the valleys that we went into, to Lake Louise and its turquoise waters that are really undescribable. I got to tell you, it was fantastic. And it's easy to feel very insignificant and small when you're in the Rocky Mountains and you're looking around, and so easy to just stand in awe and look at these things. They're fantastic. I love them. Now, I could tell you, I could show you, I could give you a video, I could beg with you, I could plead with you, I could cry with you, trying to tell you just how majestic these mountains are and what it's like to be at the foot of them and on the top of them, zip lining off of them, or just at the middle of them, driving up and around. I could do all of these things, but there is nothing that I'm going to do that is going to give it the fullest description. No picture is ever going to do it justice. The videos are nice, but you just don't get it all. It doesn't encapsulate everything that these mountains have. The only way to truly discover and see what being in the Rocky Mountains is like is to actually go there, to actually take that journey and go there. And I gotta tell you, it is entirely worth it. The reason I'm bringing all that up is because I want to tell you about Christ. I want you to know who this God is that Jared and I keep talking about. The problem is this: I can give you stories, and I love to do that, as you know. I can give you examples of how he gave me peace when my world was blowing up, how he looked favorably upon me and helped me out when I couldn't pay my rent and I didn't tell anybody and somebody paid it for me. How he looked after me and showed me grace and mercy when I was screaming at him standing in the middle of a soccer field at 11 o'clock at night because my dad had just died and I have no idea why he allowed that to happen. But he still showed me love. And he still showed me grace, and he still helped me walk through this. I can tell you story after story after story all about all the wonderful things that God has done for me. However, just like the Rockies, if you don't experience it yourself, it's just stories. There's nothing I can do. I can tell you stories, I can plead with you, I can cry with you, I can scream at you. Nothing's gonna work until you take that journey like you would need to do with the Rockies in order to discover that. So, this is my question for you today. Is it time to start that journey? Now, every journey starts with one step. I mean, we've heard that saying many, many times before, but that's what I want to ask you today. Is it time for you to take that step? Is it time for you to start that journey? This epic thing that I just did out west is going to change my life. It is. There's no way around it. The things that I did going out there, the beauty and majesty that I saw in God's creation whilst out west in our country is going to change my life. And you're going to be hearing more stories all about this as more videos come out, or as I get to talk to you more. But Christ's journey, or the journey I have with Christ, not only altered my life, it altered my afterlife. It altered my destiny. It altered everything that I am and made me into the person I am today because of what He did for me and what He continues to do for me. So are you ready to start that? Are you willing to start that? Are you okay with putting your hands over into somebody who can look after you, loves you, trusts you, and wants only what's best for you? That's what I want to ask you today. That's what I want you to think about today. Because as much as I want to tell you about all the wonderful things that Christ has done for me, it all means nothing until you fully experience it yourself. And that's what we want for you. If you've got any questions as to how to start this journey, talk to me, talk to Jer. That's what we're here for. We want to help you meet this Jesus that we talk about, this Christ that we talk about. And it's not scary, it's not awful as some people think, it's full of rules and whatnot. No, it really isn't. It's liberating, it's freeing, and most importantly, it's loving. And if you've ever needed that in your life, let me tell you, Christ is the place to go for that. Well, that's what I wanted to bring to you guys today. That's what I wanted to tell you about. Now, there will be a lot more stories, as I said, coming up about my trip. But I want you to go on a trip now. Please, give it some brain space. Think about this. And if it all makes sense and it's something that you want to talk about or think about, come find us and talk to us. We'd be happy to talk to you. Until I see you again, until we do another video, or unless I see you in the hallway, have a good weekend, have a great day, and God bless you.